Have you ever looked at someone else's life and suddenly felt like you're falling behind? Maybe someone you went to school with just bought a house. Someone you used to work with just got promoted. A friend is getting married, starting a family, traveling the world, or building the career they always wanted. And you're happy for them. At least part of you is. But then you look at your own life, and something inside you quietly asks, "What am I doing?" You weren't worried about your life 5 minutes ago. But after seeing someone else's success, suddenly your own progress doesn't feel like enough. And the strange thing is, nothing about your life actually changed. You are still the same person. You still have the same experiences, the same goals, and the same things to be grateful for. The only thing that changed was what you compared your life to. This is one of the most common psychological traps we experience without even realizing it. We don't simply measure our lives by looking at where we are. We measure where we are against where we think we should be. And once that comparison begins, it can make a perfectly normal life feel like a life that's going nowhere. Think about the last time you opened social media and saw someone celebrating something big. A new job, a wedding, a beautiful vacation, a new car, a business taking off, a graduation, a new apartment. You scroll past it, maybe leave a like and keep going. But somewhere in the back of your mind, your brain quietly records it. They're moving forward. And then, without saying it out loud, you compare that progress to your own. Why haven't I done that yet? That's where the feeling of being behind begins. The problem is that we're usually comparing our entire life to a very small part of someone else's. You see their promotion, but you don't see the years they spent struggling before getting it. You see their relationship, but you don't see the arguments, doubts, or loneliness they may have experienced. You see their success, but you don't see the failures that came before it. You see the result, but almost never the process. And this creates a very unfair comparison. You're looking at the highlight of someone else's story while judging yourself based on everything you know about your own. You know every mistake you've made, every opportunity you missed, every time you procrastinated, every plan that didn't work, every moment when you felt lost. But when you look at another person, you usually see only what they choose to show you. Of course, your own life is going to look messier, because you're comparing the behind the scenes of your life to the finished scene of someone else's. And there's another reason this feeling can become so powerful. We all carry an invisible timeline in our minds. By a certain age, we think we should have achieved certain things. We should have a successful career. We should have enough money. We should be in a serious relationship. We should own a home. We should know what we're doing with our lives. And when reality doesn't match that imagined timeline, we start believing something is wrong with us. But where did that timeline actually come from? Who decided that you were supposed to have everything figured out by a certain age? Sometimes it comes from our parents, sometimes from friends, sometimes from culture, and increasingly it comes from what we see online. We watch thousands of people's lives through a screen, and without realizing it, we begin constructing an imaginary version of what a successful life is supposed to look like. Then we look at ourselves and feel like we're failing simply because our life doesn't match that picture. But life doesn't happen on one universal schedule. Some people find their direction at 20, some find it at 30, some completely change careers at 40, some meet the right person early, others spend years alone before finding a relationship that actually feels right. Some people become financially successful very young. Others spend their 20s and 30s simply trying to survive, learn, and build a foundation. There is no single timeline that applies to everyone. And yet, we often treat life like a race where everyone is supposed to reach the same checkpoints at roughly the same time. But what if you're not actually behind? What if you're simply on a different path? This doesn't mean you should stop having goals. It doesn't mean you should become comfortable with doing nothing. And it certainly doesn't mean that ambition is a bad thing. Comparison can sometimes motivate us. Seeing someone achieve something can remind us of what we want for ourselves. The problem begins when inspiration turns into self-rejection, when someone else's success doesn't make you think, maybe I can do that too. Instead, it makes you think, what's wrong with me? That's a very different feeling. One pushes you forward, the other makes you feel smaller. And if you've been experiencing that second feeling lately, there's something important you need to remember. Your progress doesn't become less valuable simply because someone else reached their destination first. Imagine two people planting seeds at different times. One tree grows quickly, the other takes longer. If you look at them during the first few years, you might think one is succeeding and the other is failing. But a tree doesn't fail because it grows at a different speed. It's simply following its own conditions. People are not that different. Your circumstances matter. Your starting point matters. Your opportunities matter. Your responsibilities matter. Your experiences matter. And all of these things affect the speed at which your life develops. So when you compare yourself to someone else, you're often ignoring the conditions that made their journey possible. You may be comparing two completely different stories as if they started on the same page. And here's something else that comparison can make us forget. You may already be living something that your younger self desperately wanted. Maybe you have more confidence now. Maybe you've become emotionally stronger. Maybe you finally left a situation that wasn't good for you. Maybe you're financially more stable than you were 5 years ago. Maybe you've simply learned how to enjoy being alone. Those things may not look impressive on social media. They may not come with a celebration or thousands of likes, but they are still progress. Not all progress is visible. Some of the most important changes in a person's life happen quietly. You become more patient. You stop chasing people who don't value you. You learn to say no. You stop needing everyone's approval. You become comfortable with uncertainty. You understand yourself a little better. And one day you realize that the person you used to be would be proud of who you've become. But if you're constantly looking sideways, you might never notice that growth. So the next time you feel like everyone is moving ahead without you, pause for a moment. Don't immediately ask, "Why am I behind?" Ask a different question. Compared to who? Because sometimes the feeling of being behind is not evidence that you're actually behind. It's simply evidence that you've been looking at someone else's timeline. And if you've ever felt this way, I'd genuinely like to know. Have you ever looked at someone else's life and suddenly felt like you weren't doing enough with your own? Tell us in the comments. You don't have to share anything too personal. Even a simple sentence about what made you feel that way can help someone else realize they're not the only one experiencing it. Because the truth is, a lot more people feel behind than they are willing to admit. And maybe that's something we need to talk about more openly. Your life doesn't have to look impressive from the outside to be meaningful. You don't have to reach every milestone at the same age as everyone else. And you don't have to prove that you're moving fast enough. You just have to keep moving in a direction that actually matters to you. So if you needed this reminder today, take a breath. Look at your own journey, not someone else's. And if this video helped you see your life from a different perspective, leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more stories about the human mind, emotions, and the everyday experiences we often struggle to understand. Take your time. Your story is still being written, and I'll see you in the next one.